We are the Meachums, and this is our story of hope.
So I guess we'll just start from the beginning. We were serving at our church for 10 years. We started in children's ministry, and everything was, going great, and had some transitions in our leadership team. And we were working under leadership that wasn't very encouraging. And we just went through a lot of hard things during that time. It was probably 5 years of struggle. There was a certain point where I had felt called to start going to the school of ministry through the Assemblies of God. And it was actually when his mom got ordained, and we went to see her. And during that time, while we were there, I was just like, I need to do this. I need to go to the school of ministry. He was told, well, you're good with people, but you're not a leader. And it was just constant. We went in and we sat down with the pastor and said, we're done. We're leaving the church. So for about 2 weeks, we didn't go to church. And we were still, we have a relationship with God, so it was, still praying, still in the Word. And one morning I was praying, and I felt like this is wrong. We need to go back. Yeah. We weren't released yet.
So we realized we needed to be there. God didn't release us, but we just kept on chugging away serving. And then that summer we went up to camp. It was our first day of camp. And we were in a long line, 300 kids in line for pizza. And a gentleman called us out of line.
Well, he was the missionary up there.
Yeah,
speaking
he was
to
the
the
missionary.
kids. He always get a missionary to go up to kids' camp and speak to the kids. So
we
was there.
We didn't know he was a missionary at the time, but he was the missionary there at the camp. And he pulled me and Melissa out of the line, and he just said, I want to pray for you guys. God's given me a word for you. And he just went into these details about we would be working together at a church, that she would be the lead in our ministry, but I would be there to support her, and we would just be together, serving together at a church in different roles, but as a team. And it was phenomenal. So
it was exciting because it was the encouragement that we needed. We had been beaten down so much, and then out of the blue, this guy just was like, come here, I want to pray over you guys. And it was like, wow, we could feel God in that moment. It was like it was God speaking to us saying, I have something for you guys.
But fast forward 6 years, one morning I woke up and I just came to Melissa. I felt just a stirring in my heart for change. And I asked her, I said, how would you feel about selling the house and looking to move? I feel like God is releasing us. I don't know what it looks like, but I feel like he's releasing us. So I was online applying, putting in a transfer for different states. We were looking at Texas. There was an opening.
Arizona first.
Yeah, Arizona first, and then we're looking into Texas. There was an opening in Texas, so we just thought it was the door open, it was God's will, and it was the month of camp, and we almost didn't go to camp that year.
Yeah.
We were just debating on if we should cancel last minute because we just had so many things in plan and in motion that we were doing, and we decided we need to go to camp. I mean, we've been going there forever, and we couldn't just tell them last minute we can't make it.
And it's a good thing we went, because if we didn't go to camp, we wouldn't be here today.
We would have missed God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. So we went to kids camp, and it was kind of a struggle. Had a few little bumps that we had to work out while we were up there, but the first thing that we were told was that we needed to pick out a kid for that week. I didn't know how I was going to find him, but I was like, I need to find this kid. So the next morning we went to breakfast. I'm sitting down at my table, and I look up, and there he is. I'm like, oh, that's my kid. So
with no shoes.
With no shoes on, of course. Then I go to tell him to put his shoes on. He puts flip-flops on, which those weren't allowed either, but that's our Simon. Also during that time while we were at kids camp, we had even told Robin, she's the director of the kids ministry of all of Southern California. We've gotten to know her pretty well, and we just told her, we were looking for change, we were looking to move out of state, and that this was probably going to be our last year at kids camp. And so we had told her that earlier on in the week, And so the last day, Friday, all the kids had left, and she pulled us aside and she said, "So you guys are looking for change, right?" And we said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, there's actually a children's pastor position open at South Coast Christian." She emailed Pastor Tom and connected with him, and then our first Sunday when we were driving out here, because he told us he wanted us to come visit the church. So we were driving up here, and I was thinking, I told Jonathan, I said, "I wonder if my kid, Simon, that I chose at camp, I wonder if he goes." I just had such a strong feeling, because we didn't know what church he was from. And so we get here, and we connected with Brittany, Pastor Tom's daughter, and asked her, "Does Simon go here?" And she said, "Yes, he does." Sure enough, Simon goes here. Just blows our mind.
Yeah. So the next Sunday we came to church, we were in kids ministry, and we got out of church. It was fun. We were in there with Brittany and Faith, and we got out of church and somebody came up and said, "There's a missionary here." And we're like, "Oh, that's cool. Who's the missionary?" And little did we know it was Simon.
The missionary from kids camp that pulled us out of a line 5 years before and spoke a word over us that we would be working together in ministry.
And then about a year into us being here, a position opened up. And it was possibly an opportunity for me to join the team and work here side by side. And it was awesome seeing what God told us 5 years earlier, what we've been through. He opened that door, and here we are today, both serving at the same place for God. So it's just amazing to see how God, I mean, there's no way you cannot tell me that God isn't real. For somebody to pull us out of a line 5 years earlier and tell us details of what we'll be doing. And naturally, we didn't know God's timing. So we absolutely love being here where we're at today. It's been an amazing journey.
Yeah, and since we've been here, I'm back in the school of ministry. I'm 2 classes away from getting certified, which is really awesome. It's been a long journey with that, and I'm glad I'm still going. And we can be impatient. You know, we get a word and it's like, okay, we're ready for that to happen, like right now.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't happen. And then time goes on, and a year, and then another year, and then another year, and you're still in the same position. But the hope was that God does have something for us. I mean, we had been in ministry for so long. We felt like so long, and, you know, we knew it was where we were supposed to be.
So yeah, during the time while we were waiting, you know, it was hard from time to time, and we just continued to push on and serve, because ultimately I knew that's what God wanted us to do. I felt it in our heart. We both did, you know. We were being examples for our son, showing him how to serve, even in the hard times. Life is short, don't give up. God will not steer you wrong.
Yeah. God has a purpose for everybody, and it's in His timing.
Yes.
And His timing is always the best time.